Life is a risk. We came to this world taking a risk from conception to delivery to being raised by our parents. Too much risk is involved. Getting into marriage relationship is another level of risk. Adding another life to your life, different background, different exposure, different upbringing, personality differs, a lot of differences in our upbringing. Making a decision to take a risk in adding another life to your life, that risk must be reasonable. Marriage relationship, going into another life is risky, but the risk you are taking must be reasonable. I've met a lot of young men and women who are supposed to be reasonable in risk taking in choosing their life partner. Don't forget, a life partner is a life one. It's for life. They were sentimental, emotional, traditional, religious about the risk they are taking in relationships, especially marriage. I said tradition because you know what tradition is. That's how we do it in our family. We have to do this and that, and you get into relationship risking unreasonably. What about culture? I must marry from my culture. This is my culture. She has been want to be whatever. A lot of funny things that people do and act in the name of entering into a relationship. I said religion because some have put religion above their senses. They put culture above their senses. They put tradition above their senses. And they have entered one chance. As I used to say, they've entered trouble because they took risk and they were not reasonable in the risk they are taking. It is unwell and unwise to meet someone and you are not probing the person, you are not intentional about the relationship, you are just casual. You took everything for granted, you overlook manners, you overlook attitude, you overlook all the red flags and the black flags. You overlook those things that were major, like anger, malice, rage, is still in the class of anger, lies, deception, looking into your life and you know that you are not the only one, is putting another person on his status, is acting funny. You could check him on his social media platforms and you have a lot of questions. You have a lot of things you are querying, and yet you close your eyes, shut your mind, and enter into a relationship like goat or cow or ram going to a slaughterhouse. Risking wrongly is not only going to affect you, it's not going to only truncate your life, it will affect you in your health, in your wealth, in your happiness, and your children will suffer. Your business will suffer. Everything, all is encapsulated in, taking a risk that will end you in a mess. I'm saying this on Straight Talk this afternoon. I've not even welcomed you. Oh my God, my heart is full. My name is Olufunke Adetuberu. This is Straight Talk on Blast FM 98.3 Music House. That's where we are in Ibadan. On behalf of Dr. Nkaju Elaifele, the father of Fresh FM, I welcome you to Straight Talk with Olufunke on Blast FM 98.3. I'm kind of You could see the way I came into the program today. You could see that I'm really, really bothered. I'm burdened because of a particular case that I'm bringing to you today. I'm happy because I'm privileged to have access to people's stories, people's lives, their reality. People's stories, people's life, their reality, and coming on Straight Talk, on She Matters, on every platform, Instagram Live, my YouTube, everywhere I'm privileged to speak, a lot of questions comes to me. Getting bothered, worried about what they are going through and what they've been through. And some are sharing the experiences of their loved ones that have lost their lives because they were not reasonable in taking the risk in entering a relationship. This one went viral, and I'm going to break it down. Analyze this particular scenario for you to know that being married is not the end of life. Let me say this. You may not like my theory. You may block me now. You may turn off your radio. You may not listen to me. But the truth is, and I want everybody to hear me, it is not everybody that will be married. Please, take it, swallow it. Don't ever think marriage is the only thing that will give you fulfillment. It is not everybody that is a marriage material. It's not everybody that will be married. Don't add problem to yourself by thinking, if I'm married, I will be happy. If I'm married, my children, if I'm married. Hey, marriage will never make you happy. Ask those that are married. Oh, when I'm married now, I'll be the most happiest man in the world, the most happiest woman in the world. This thing you are just saying, that I'm echoing, you read it in a novel. It is not real. It is fantasy. It is fiction. It is not real. Marriage is hard work. Marriage is contributing your quota. Marriage is 100-100. It's not even 50-50. You bring 100 to the table, the person bring 100 to the table. Both of you work hard back to back for it to work. You see the way I'm feeling? This wrong mindset. My daughter, you have to marry. My son, you have to marry. Excuse me, not everyone will be married. Maybe this word is just delivering somebody now from the bondage of I must marry. This I must marry, you must marry, has put a lot of people in the prison of life. Mental, emotional, physical, psychological prison. Because they must marry. Who told you? Please, hear me and hear me good. Somebody said, but God said, it is not good for a man to be alone. Yes. I will make a helpmate for him. Yes. God brought Eve to Adam. From that day, God regretted that action. Because when they had problems, the two of them said, the man said, the woman you gave me. The woman said, the serpent. From that day, God said, whosoever findeth a good wife has found a good thing and obtain favor from God. You know what that means? You find. And is it everything you find that you see? Figure it out yourself. You find. Whosoever findeth a wife, find a good thing. You have to find. From Adam, from that day, God did not choose for people again. He leads you to choose. And how many of us are being led? How many of us know how to be led? How many of us understand convictions of relationship? How many? Now listen, let me help you to balance. Between the age of 18, hear me now, and 24, you see someone that liked you and you meet someone you like. Be intense in finding out, is this person for me? Do we love each other to marry? If you miss it and you are going to 30, 27, 28, 29, 30, you are going to do more job or more work. So I'm helping you as parents, if you are listening to me. I'm helping you as young adults, young men and women. If you are listening to me, the moment you notice between your age 18 to 24, 25, 26, between that age range, you will see somebody that likes you, that you are attracted to. Pause and think. Pray, ask, find out, probe, be friendly. Have friends between that age. The friend I'm talking about is not the friend of having sex with each other. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about just friendship. Some of us are raised from a system that we're not even taught to be friendly. We are rude, we are nasty, we are cocky, we are porky, we have attitude problems. That's another thing that contributes to relationship. And if care is not taken, you just find out that time is going or time has gone and you are not settling down. And we are unfortunate being raised by, I said we're unfortunate. Unfortunately, we are being raised by babies. Daddy does not know better. Mommy does not know better. What would they teach their children better? Sometimes I look at young adults who have gotten to a marriageable age and I'm shaking my head and say, can this one be a mother? Can this one be a wife? It's not the person's fault. Is it not the way the child is raised? Most parents are not raising our children. Let me digress here. Hey, this story, we must hear it though. Some parents, hear me today. If you're a mother, you're a father, don't only raise your child to be academically sound. Raise them to be relationally sound, financially sound, matrimonially sound, relationally sound. Oh, you must do your school, read very well. You must go to school, do your job, do your school. I agree, it's important. But please, balance their lives, balance their destiny. Teach them to be nice, to be firm, to be good. Teach them to say no. Teach them to say yes. Teach them to be comfortable in communicating in public. Teach them to stand up and speak. Teach them how to use cutleries. Teach them how to eat. Some of you are hearing me now. When you are eating, your mouth is making sound. Teach them to close their mouth. Teach them life. You know, hey, one day I sat to think. I'm a faith-based counselor therapist. My faith is Christ. The Bible says Jesus grew in stature, eating well, stature, fit, stature. He had favor before men, relationship, then God. And the boy grew in wisdom, in stature. Wisdom is education. Wisdom is ability to relate with people. In stature, physical fitness. Then relationship, had favor. You don't raise your children haphazardly. You don't raise your children in a way that socially they are rubbish, emotionally they are rubbish, psychologically they are rubbish, then academically they are okay. That's not how to raise children. There must be a need for everyone to teach sound, intelligent lifestyle for your children. I'm choosing my words. You know, I don't play with words. Today, I'm not going to pick calls. I want you to understand that this thing I want to be sharing with us today is deep. Very deep. And it happens in this our town, in our world. And the man is from Ibadan. The Men College of Ministry, we are resuming on the 21st of October, 2023. The best gift you can give to yourself as a man is to be part of this destiny molding institution, training for men. You will know yourself, you know your weaknesses, you know your strength, you will know what a woman really wants as a man. You will know how to be emotionally mature to raise your children. I'm preparing my generation for the next 100 years, even after my departure. That is my goal. The Men College of Ministry will transform you in and out. We change your perspective to life. You will understand how life is. Life is a risk. Life is complex. You will deal with your emotional baggages. You will understand why you are doing what you are doing. Why is it that you cannot communicate? You will know so much. 6 weeks, Saturdays only, 12 to 3 p.m., 3 hours. Distance is not a barrier. Anywhere you are in the world, this institution will change you in and out. And listen to me, it's not religious based. I'm faith based. But listen to me, in my profession, you don't do religion. You help people. I go anywhere. I've gone to places to talk, and you won't believe that I'll be there in different mosques, different denominations. It's my duty to talk, nothing more. Hear this story. Nigerian Ibadan man Hassan Adeyemo shot wife dead in Florida in the US. Now, this was what he said. He wrote it before he killed his wife. Why I killed I don't want to use the word he used, but he called his wife a bitch. Part 1, why he chose. Shey I told you at the beginning of this program that life is a risk. Relationship is a risk. Marriage is riskier, if there is any English like that. The person you are going to hand over your life to, that is going to be your life partner, that will determine whether you will die early or die in old age, in good old age, is marriage. So if you are making that choices or making that decisions and somebody is telling you stop, you better stop or life will stop you. I said it, I don't know, in one of the episodes. I said they will send me a text. This guy is like this guy is like that, like the one I've been reading to you since. You now said you love him. And I'll tell you, out ASAP. Cut him off. Stop that relationship. Don't talk to her again. You say, but I love her. I won't answer you again. Because you are wasting my precious time. Time is life. This program is timing. That's why it is the time we are airing it on the radio. Life is time bound. So if I'm telling you not to do something, you are giving me an alibi, an excuse, I will just be looking. I won't reply. You know how many people want my attention? I'm not saying this because I don't want to help you, but I'm saying this because you are not wise enough to know when voice of wisdom and the voice of reasoning is telling you to stop something. Rigidity is an energy of a fool. You can't stay and tell yourself, that's what I'm going to do. If you can choose your action, you should choose the consequences of your action. Life is a choice. Part 1, why I killed my wife. The word he used, I don't want to use it on air. He called his wife a bitch. In 1998, I'm a 21-year-old soldier named Hassan Adeyemo from Ibadan. Met and fell in love with an 18-year-old beautiful Hausa girl from Bauchi called Sarah. It was love at first sight. Hear me. You know I've told you that between the age of 18 and 25, you have someone that likes you, that you like. For a man, for a woman, there is something we call love at first sight. This love at first sight, you have emotional pendulum, you are here and there, you are back and forth, you can't sleep. Those are the days when you are in your classroom reading biology, physics, and chemistry. Those days, we don't have phone. I'm sure it's going to be worse now. You now take the picture of that person inside your chemistry notes. Instead of reading chemistry or reading biology, you are looking at that boy, you are looking at that girl, and you are smiling, you are beaming, you are not concentrating. These days of telephone, you are chatting, Snapchat, WhatsApp video call, instead of facing your books. We call it infatuation. Infatuation, you are infatuated because it is love at first sight. Now, this issue of being in love at first sight or being infatuated will have to go through the test of maturity. Test of maturity. This guy is 21-year-old, Hassan Adeyemo. The girl is an Hausa girl. Her name is Sarah. She's 18. 21 and 18. Now, don't let me confuse us. I want to help everyone listening to me now. At 21, you can fall in love. We are wired to be loved and want to love. That's the way our DNA is, the way we are created to live and act. Now, where the challenge is when these things are going on our mind, how many of us ask questions? The bad part of life is our parents are not always available for us to ask them questions on relationship at 21. The girl at 18, if we position ourselves as parents, we are available for our children, this is the time for them to ask us, Mom, Dad, I'm feeling somehow about this person. Do you know some parents are hearing me now? Your children are comfortable telling you that, oh, they've made me an ESCO, and they have made me this. I'm the kiniko of my fellowship, or kiniko of my department. They are not comfortable to come and tell you, this is how I'm feeling about this girl. This is how I'm feeling about this boy. Because they felt or feeling that, hey, they will abuse me. Hey, I sent you to school. Is it girl you should go and like? I sent you to school. Is it boy you should like? I've told us, and hear me clearly. I'm talking to parents now. If you are young and you are privileged to be listening to this, share it with your mommy and your daddy. They need to know that they have not done you well, but not allowing you to be balanced and grow as a normal child, reading, understanding relationship, apart from reading your books and becoming your doctor, your banker, whatever you want to become. Listen to me carefully. If you are there for your children, they have every right to share with you their feelings. Probably, I'm not in a hurry to answer this question. I'm breaking it down. This is part one. If they have parents, or you have parents to share this with, your mother, your father knows you. They know your weaknesses, they know your strengths, they know where you are struggling. Now, the question is very, very simple. Should the parent that daddy and mommy have been beating each other? They don't have time for their kids? They are not available for children? Are they the ones that would be able to find out or figure out or pinpoint their children's weaknesses? Listen to me. I'm saying this. I'm bringing so much information to this public place for one reason: to help my generation, to help people that are coming up, to reduce the level of insanity, drug addiction, sex addiction, all sorts of struggles, because of one fact: you don't know what to give to your children. And children does not even know what to present to the world. Looking at this case now, it is a father and a mother that are together, have a good communication. Those are the ones their children will be comfortable to come and say, Mom, Dad, I just like this person. I'm in love with him. I'm in love with her. Is it okay? Is it not okay? Then your parents, your guardian, will help you to probe into that person's family, character, their relationships, things they've done, things they've not done. You would find out before you conclude and say, this is how I'm going to go about it. We got married in 1999, and God blessed us with a beautiful daughter in 2000. After her, we had two other daughters and a boy, making 4 kids. I love my wife so much and I don't want her to be stressed. So I provided everything she wanted for her to take care of our kids. I choose to do this because of the love I have for her. Don't forget, we met when we were young. Love at first sight. We never had any exposure, any experience, but we sincerely fell in love with each other. In 2014, I wanted a better life for me and my family. So I agreed with my wife to send her to the US with our kids. As she entered into the United States in 2014, before she got there, I've already rented a house, a car. I don't want my wife to work. Sarah must not work. I am sending money to them for their upkeep from Nigeria every month. Despite the distance, I am bonded with my wife. I did not allow any day to go without us communicating virtually. We were all happy. In 2017, I missed my wife and my family so much. I decided to relocate to America and stay with them. Before I got to America, my wife started hair braiding just to keep herself busy when the kids are on their way to school. Everyone loved her, the way she braided beautiful styles. Gradually, she became a household name in Orlando, Florida. Ladies flooded her to do their hair. It was becoming unfortunate, should I say unfortunate, or my wife became the victim of tragedy of my pain and insecurity. She started doing well. The business she planned that she was going to use as fun became big overnight. So when I entered into the US, things were going smoothly. Don't forget, I'm a big man in Nigeria. I have my car, I've made a lot of money, I'm doing well. When I got to America, I have to start all over again. About people that choose to leave the shores of the country without knowing the implications of leaving Nigeria as a big man. You're a banker, you're a lawyer, you're a doctor, you're a professional. You've made your money here. You have chefs, you have cleaners, you have maids. Having to relocate to abroad or any part of the world, let me put it that way, and you have to take care of your children, probably take them to school, no driver, no cleaner, no cook, no chef. How do you handle that? People need to understand the implication before they japa. If you choose to leave your comfort zone to another country or continent, and you're a big man in Nigeria, it's a topic for discussion with your family. Because I know a lot of people are on their way to the embassy to Japa. I'm not saying you should not make that decision. If you are married, you have a life here that you are living, you live big, you live large in Nigeria, and you have to travel. You have to consider a lot of things. The lady, Sarah, that left, she has adjusted to the system. She will take the children to school. There's no help anywhere. You pay for every help that is rendered abroad. So she never had anybody, and she's used to the system. Now, imagine the husband that is large, is big, his mouth is wide, coming to meet the wife abroad. The man will expect food on the dining table, will expect her to keep doing all the chores, thinking he's still in Nigeria. The big man show does not work anywhere apart from Nigeria. You have to do the chores. You have to help to do things. Now, Azan has to mentally, psychologically, emotionally adjust. Don't forget, he had no paper yet. He went to meet his family to start a new life. So he has to be doing jobs. And the money that comes in is peanuts. You know why? He said, number one, if you don't have papers in that country, you can't work. It's a structured system. Everything is on the system. Your names and everything is there. So you can't cut corners. You can't do anything if you don't know what to do. Not having a structure in place. Don't forget, when they got to America, they had husband and wife. Don't forget, now it happens. They had another child, making 5 children, and the other one is a baby. When a woman is pregnant, even in Nigeria, she's not as active. Having to be pregnant and your husband is with you and you have 4 kids, the man must help you to do chores. There's no maid. If you have to employ a nanny, you pay. Don't forget, Hazan is being paid a peanut. For Sarah, she has started making at least $1,000 a day. Because of her job, making hair. She has become a big name in Florida. And of course, ladies flooded her to do their hair. She started producing hair. She has her name. Don't forget the husband earns peanuts. And she now got pregnant, had the 5th child. In a system where you produce your hair, you have to fix people's hair, you don't abuse, there's no cheap labor anywhere outside the country. You have to do the needful. And Hassan began to feel insecure and not safe, feeling intimidated. Don't forget the story. At the beginning, he does everything. He sends money to them. They buy cars. He has paid for the house rent before they got to the States and all of that. So this guy has a mentality, I cannot suffer again. I have gotten to the peak of my career. I'm going to America because I love my family. I love my children. I want to be with them, not to be a slave. Here I met my wife. She has become a big girl. She has become a global name. Now she's pregnant. I have to cook. She had a baby. I have to probably babysit. That was getting into Hassan. To now make it worse, his income could not meet the expenses of the man. And when a man is used to paying the bills, doing everything for the woman, if the table turns around, let me digress here. I won't finish this today. If the table turns around and your husband does not have enough money again, as usual, we are living in a system that nothing is certain, especially even if he's in Nigeria, not to talk of abroad. As far as he was concerned, this is abroad. But what about here? When suddenly your husband lost his job, he cannot do as he used to do. The mental, the emotional, the psychological stress alone will frustrate a man to be angry, to be nagging. That woman must be wise enough and smart to let the man still feel as if he's doing everything, he's a king in his kingdom. You don't talk down on him because, listen, I've counseled with men that lost their job as bank managers in Nigeria, not abroad now. The man said when he lost his job, they have been living large before. If they have to manage, probably they have 6 pieces of meat, then they have 5 children. The wife will say, okay, let me just give all the children meat, the 4 pieces of meat. Let me just give one to my husband. Me, I can eat without meat. The husband will look at the plate and see 1 piece of meat and get angry and say, this is life. So is it me you are giving 1 piece of meat? The man said I was dying mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and I was fighting my wife, and I could not put my fingers on what exactly is the cause of this conflict. This is simple psychology. We are living in a system we don't respect professionals. We don't ask people questions when we are sad. We don't trace the source of our shame, of our pain, of whatever has happened to us that has brought us to a place where we cannot really be at peace, be happy with our wife, with our family again as a man. This man should have sought a professional help. If you are listening to me now and you just discover that what you used to do, what you used to have, you've lost something, you have missed something, there's a vacuum, and it's making you to nag, it's making you to shout, it's making you to react, it's making you to behave not like you. Do yourself a great favor. Get a counselor, get a therapist, treat that wound. If it's not treated, it's like sitting on a gunpowder. Your wife will not know what to do again to please you. You become oversensitive, overreactive. You start doing things that they are wondering, why is daddy shouting? Why is it that daddy is not friendly again? Why will he just come back from work and just go to the room? Why is he not playing with us? Why is he not going out with us? Your man is getting depressed. He's losing his mind. He's losing his focus. Even in the natural, apart from losing job, let your husband try a business and there's a loss. You will see a man that is frustrated in the house. Or any profession, if there's a glitches or any problem in his job, in his workplace, he will react. He will not be happy. You need a smart, dynamic, supportive wife to help your husband to be able to come out from that place without him transferring the frustration and the aggression to you. If you don't understand the dynamics of having to support your spouse in the midst of dryness, drought, or challenges, you will just be noticing negative attitude. Like I said, he will nag, he will yell, he will withdraw, he will be crying sometimes, because men are wired to want to provide. Men are wired to be successful. There is no man that wants to be in a place where the wife will not be the one feeding him. If you find your husband losing his job or going through some serious financial pressure, calm down. Understand. It's not when he's fighting, you be fighting. It's not when he's nagging, you be nagging. Sincerely speaking, I'm sure some of you understand that God puts ego in the lives of a man to protect you. That ego is very important. That ego is so sensitive and very fragile. When there is no success or when things are not the way they planned it, they would be feeling the pain in their ego. That position of lowness, poverty, loss of job, not making it, is going to be crushing that sensitive ego. And if you are not careful and you don't mind what you say, you don't mind what you comment about, you don't mind your actions and your reactions, you are going to step on his toes and he's going to react. And when that reaction comes, those are the things that opens door to other women. Some men enter infidelity immediately when they have pain. What is addiction? Addiction is a way you medicate a pain. So that's pain that is in them. That's pain that has come to them because of failure of, job, change of location, like the case we are talking about, change of location, having to drive, take children to school, do house chores, clean the kitchen after cooking. Man, is reducing that man to nothing. Not because he's supposed to be like that, but this is a man that had led his life in affluence, having everything at his beck and call. It's not going to be easy for him to just adapt and adjust. At that time, if a woman does not understand, I just wish people that are living in diaspora are hearing me now, especially those who just japa lately, who just find themselves having to, their husband is their dependent, their wife is their dependent, they are, trying to make ends meet or something, having to live abroad. Please pass this message across to them. If they are not careful, if they are not sensitive, they're going to start transferring aggression, they're going to start reacting, they're going to start having issues that can put them into serious trouble in their marriage. You have to be very, very careful. And one thing that I said is it can start opening door to other women. Maybe you are the wife at home, you are now nagging, there's no money, there's no food, what are we going to do, the children's school fees, and you are just bringing all the burdens on his life, on his head. One girl, one mama somewhere who has money, who does not have husband, we start pampering him, treating him like a king. I say, don't worry. Oh, is it 200,000 you need? Let me give you. Because the woman at home does not have understanding. You need to have understanding to be outstanding. You need to have understanding to be able to stand out in a situation like this as a woman. Because where this Mr. Hassan found himself, he never thought he was going to be poor again, not to talk of having a stipend as, salary, the wife making $1,000 per day. And most of the time, women are not sensitive enough or even sensible enough to know that this act, this attitude, can make the man to lose his head. You will now be thinking, what is it? He doesn't want me to make money. Is he jealous of me? He's not jealous of you. No man is jealous of his wife. Take it to the bank. That's the truth. He's not jealous of you. It's just that the position is being swapped. It's like changing somebody's position. He's not going to find it funny at all. He won't sleep. Ask men. I've handled men. I've counseled men that have lost their jobs or things are not going on. The business are not going well. They are not selling. Come and see the way they behave. Some will say, ma, I'm losing my mind. Some will even say you are the one using their glory. African men. If you find yourself like that, just calm down. Don't take those things to heart. The man is speaking out of frustration. He's talking out of pain. Don't take it to heart. Don't let your husband statement in the midst of need, in the midst of pressure, in the midst of losing job or losing business, don't let that word get to you. Don't take it and say, now you are saying I'm the one doing you. I'm the one. What he's saying is pray for me. Let your husband know you are empathetic, you are sympathetic, you can pray for him. Tell him, my dear, all will be well. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Everything will end in praise. Don't put yourself in a place where you will now be dealing with a situation like you are not wise. No, pray for him, fast for him. Tell the children, when you are even doing your family devotion, I'm teaching you wisdom. I've talked to the singles. You are married. When you are doing family devotion, children, you firstborn, pray for daddy. You secondborn, pray for daddy. Let him know that you care, and not just open conversation alone. Go to the private place and talk. Call him, text him, and say, my dear, whatever it is we are in it together, we'll manage. This season will come and go. Stop being biased. Stop being prejudiced. Stop saying, now, finally, shebi you don't come home on time before. Now you don't have money. Where are your friends? Men will never survive with such a statement. I've counseled over 200 men in my life that would tell me when I lost my job, my wife was not there. My wife was saying things, was insinuating, was gossiping, was backbiting, and I just left her. And this lady just came at a time I needed her most. She was not bothering me for money. She was not asking for anything. She just wanted me to have peace. And that was how I left for another woman. It is after like 2 or 3 years that they had been together with a child that the man will say, yeah, my wife had told me it's better. Oh. That's the painful part of it. That's why premarital counseling, postmarital counseling is very important when we are dealing with marital issues, because at the end of the day, the woman that you felt she's bad, she's the devil, by the time the other woman too settles, you will see that the wife at home is better. You have not married another person, you will know that your husband is better, vice versa. If you are not married another woman, you will not know that the woman at home is even better than the one you have just picked up, and you are just, doing honey ways. Let's learn to adapt, to adjust, especially in the midst of the storm, in this season where we find ourselves now, especially now that things are very, very tough on families. Be careful. This is not the time to blame your husband, blame your wife. Start encouraging each other. Iron sharpens iron. A friend will sharpen the countenance of his friend. The more you sharpen each other, the more you're going to be very strong when things is getting better, or it's still going to get better. And I have a good news for you. It's going to get better. I used to say jokingly that if you say because you don't have money, you are not buying toothbrush, when money comes, you will not be able to laugh. So it's always good, it's always important to keep yourself in a place of honor and dignity, and let your spouse know that my wife is there for me, my husband is there for me. It's for better, for worse, even though we are not believing that will be worse, but it's for better, for worse. In rich, in poverty, in wealth, in everything, we come together and we make a statement of unity in the midst of our challenges. Hear me, and hear me very well. This issue I'm talking about has messed up a lot of homes, has brought a lot of people to a place where people are wondering, what, why, kilo shele, what is going on? I've spoken Yoruba, but you are puzzled. You shouldn't be puzzled. Men are wired to succeed. Men are wired to live in affluence. Unfortunately, our culture, Africa, allows men to do everything. It's only people that have traveled that they will see the need for helping their wives or helping their husband to to do anything at home, helping their wives to work and do something at home. Naturally speaking, hear me, in Africa, men sit on the dining, cross their legs, put themselves in a place where everybody is, stretching, daddy, 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 daddy. It doesn't work like that in other parts of the world. And we have to understand the culture we are going into. So if you're a man, you're hearing me now, you have a mind of leaving this country, you want to jackpot, as is the latest slang in town, think about it very well. Don't be impulsive in making a decision to leave this place, this our country, Nigeria, or else you might be finding it difficult to adjust, to adapt. And inability to adjust and adapt was the reason for this man who eventually killed his wife, was the reason for it. And honestly, there's no reason for violence, there's no reason for killing somebody, there's no reason for sending somebody to an early grave. This man, going back to my story, which I'm going to continue next week, Azan, who missed his family, chose to relocate, and after the relocation, he couldn't adjust to the new lifestyle in that system, and that created chaos because his salary was peanuts. Why I'm saying this today is, when we are making choices, be careful. Don't be infatuated. Don't be living in the world of fantasy. If you listen to me today clearly, you will know that if you are going to travel out, please check the culture, the tradition, understand the system, how it works before you jackpot. And if you are going to go there, if your wife or your husband has gone ahead, she must have integrated herself or himself to the system. Don't allow envy, jealousy, lack of understanding bring you to a place of becoming a murderer. I'm going to continue the story next week. Don't forget, the Men College of Ministry resumes on the 21st of October. 2023. You cannot afford to miss it. You're going to know what it means to be a man. How do I raise my children? What does a woman really want? I'm confused in my marriage. If you are 18 and above, age has no limitation. Make sure you text this number or you WhatsApp this number. Don't call, because we are going to be communicating through WhatsApp and messages. 090 2010 1080. That is the number to communicate with. And definitely we're going to get back to you and give you the necessary information on how to go about the school. Guess what? Distance is not a barrier. Any part of the world, we are available to reach out to you. The system is well structured and you'll be glad you did. The last one we had, men gave me an award. The men gave me an award, and that tells you that that's a bomb. On behalf of Dr. Inka Jola, I want to say a very big thank you to everyone who has been listening to me since the inception of this episode of Straight Talk with Olufunke on Blast FM. I appreciate you so dearly. Thank you very much. I'll see you next week.